begin writing some code within this lesson, we're going to cover off setting up our basic HTML template. We are starting from scratch, so we're going to start by setting up and identifying this as an HTML5 page, and then setting up our HTML tags, so opening tags, setting up the head tags, and also including a title. So this is going to be JavaScript HTML5 canvas drawing. And we can also link out to our style sheet. So we create a style sheet. We're just going to create the linking here for this as well, so that we can prepare everything, all of the files, and set up. And when we jump into the JavaScript, then we're ready to go and start building out the application. So style sheet, and we're going to href, and then we're going to create that style sheet as well. So we'll call it style CSS, and we can close that off. And of course, it's not found yet. So when we save it, and I'm just going to create a few new files here. So this one we're going to call style CSS. This is where all our CSS will go. And we'll create another new one and save this one as script.js. And then this is where all of our JavaScript will sit. And let's finish up linking. I'm also going to hide the sidebar. So again, we get a little bit more real estate to work with as we're building out this application for the course. So next, let's do the body tags. So the body tags. And then just before we close off the body tags, let's link out to our script. And the script source is going to be that script.js file that we just created. So that's it. So we are ready to go to build out our HTML. So within the HTML, of course, we're going to need that canvas element. So let's set that up. So that's just using the canvas tag. You need to give it an ID in order to identify it. Typically, you call it canvas, so that we can identify it, and also setting a width and a height for this. So default width is 800, default height for it is, maybe it'll do 600. So we have a 4 by 3 design, and then close off that canvas. And we're also going to need a few inputs. So let's set those up as well while we're working here. And setting it, we need to give it a name. So this is going to be the color that we want to be drawing in. So the pen color that we're drawing with. So we'll set up an input for that and name, and we're going to name it pen color. And we'll start out with a default value. So we'll set a hex value. So this is just going to be black. So our starting color for our drawing pen is going to be black. And by default, when you draw, it is black. So you can also set that as well. And I'm going to show you that coming up in the next lessons. And also, I want to be able to adjust the pen width. So let's set that one up as well. So this is going to be, actually this should be type. And then this one is going to be type as well. So this is type. And the type is range. So these are all HTML5. And basically what this is going to do, this is going to give me that little slider bar where we can adjust the range. So this is pen width. Give it a name of pen width so we can identify it. And I usually like to also set the minimums and maximums so that we don't have the user going off too much. We can also create a step. So this is how it increments. So we can do a step of 5. And let's set our default value. Let's do a step of 2 and set a default value of 5. And then last but not least, so let's refresh the page and see what this looks like. So there we've got our slider. There we've got our color picker. So that's all working, and this is just default HTML, so there's nothing yet with JavaScript that we've done. And let's add in a button, because whenever we're creating our artwork, we need to have a way to save it. So we're creating a quick save button that's going to give us the ability to click it and then download whatever we've drawn within the canvas. And all of this is going to be done through JavaScript. And then one last thing. So let's actually wrap this within a dashboard so we can distinguish all of the controls. So this is basically our control dashboard. And this is going to be a div. We're going to wrap this around all of our control elements that we just created. So including that button. So that if we want to style it, it's going to be a lot easier to style as well. And let's add one more. So we'll do an image and a source for the image. So right now the source, we don't have a default image, so we're just going to leave it at blank. And also let's give it an ID so that we can identify it. So we'll just call it my image and then close that off. So right now there's going to be nothing there. It's just a blank image. And this is where we're actually going to, whenever we save, we want to output the image so the user can take a look at it. And this is where we're going to be dropping it into. So this is all, again, done through JavaScript. So really that's it for our HTML. And with the CSS, let's do the CSS really quickly. We're not going to do a whole bunch of CSS. And of course, you can style it as needed. We're going to simply add in a border. So a one-pick solid black border. So we can actually see the canvas that we're drawing upon. And I'll make this a little bit smaller so it all fits on one page. And there we go. So we've got our canvas. We can see it because we've added the border around it. We've got our controls area, our control dashboard here, and we're using the HTML5 elements where we've got a color picker, we've got a slider, and then we've added in a button so that we can save our image that we're just designing. So we are ready to jump into the JavaScript, and that's coming up in the next lesson. So go ahead and set up your HTML, set up your control area, add in the different inputs and interactive elements that you need within your content, and you're ready to go on to the next section, which is going to be JavaScript.